Don't let me get a hold of that. Alright, here. Check this out. I want to see if there's any connections. Look, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just had this thought of this out of the blue. It's been a while since I read Ezekiel. I'll tell you this little biblical studying thing. The books of Isaiah, especially the book of Jeremiah, it just is so long. Book of Job, really, really long. But I mean, they're all packed full of awesome kind of data. It's hidden in there. It's not easy to understand. You got to know a lot of things to really understand the prophecy. I mean, it's difficult. So you got to have a broad understanding of life in general. That's why I pull so many other topics into my biblical understanding, is because it applies. If this Bible didn't apply to CERN, what good is this Bible? If we're supposed to be warned about what's going to happen, and it fails to mention like America. It's like, but it says in there, it's a land which you know not. You know what I'm saying? And the hindermost nation. All these things. It's in there. You just don't know how to find it. But anyway, Jeremiah and Isaiah, long books full of great information. But Ezekiel as well, long book. Daniel's kind of not as long, but it's packed full of great information. These are the major prophets of the Bible. So Ezekiel, he's a more cryptic prophet. And there's where you get your term when people say, I'm a watchman. It comes out of Ezekiel 33. It's going to the watchman who sees danger, yet does nothing. That's why we all have our calling to at least listen when we see danger. It's not a biblical suggestion to warn people. It's a commandment. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we're compelled to do this. It's not telling us to go out and do anything other than just keep it real as much as you can. Do the best you can, keeping it real, and seek hard. Go hard for it, man. It's really, it's like the Olympics. Like training for the Olympics. Just so that but our tournament hasn't started yet. You know what I'm saying? In a way, it's like we're training now. But when the tournament starts, will you finish the race? You know what I'm saying? We're close to the starting race. You know what I'm saying? When them vials and them bowls and them trumpets start going. For sure, for sure. I'm not sure if they ain't already started yet or not. But they could be. They might not. It's not easy, but we're in the thick of things right now. Anything could happen any day. That's just the way it is. So that's why I'm looking into these things. Like, look, I think we're a day or two away from the gates of hell opening. That's what they keep saying that's what I think it's the web bots are the ones that actually know that CERN's the abyss. It's the pit of hell. But let's see if this fits in at all. This is the book of Ezekiel, the first book, and then the first chapter. So it's right in here, dude. It's easy to find. I couldn't remember then. It's just the very first chapter. It says, now it came to pass in the 13th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of that month, and I was among the captives of the river Chabar. See this? How they said in the 13th year, 4th month, 5th day. Back in the day, they didn't have no names of month. That comes from pagan prognosticators and god worshippers, like as in little g gods, like Greek gods and Buddhas, not Buddhas, but there's a pantheon of gods over in China. There's a pantheon of gods in India. There's a pantheon of gods in the Mayans. It's worldwide phenomenon. If you don't worship God, well, then you worship these same guys. They just got different names in all places. But anyway, that's tidbit information you may not know. Like if you read the book about Musashi, he says the 5th month, the 11th day, in the hour of the tiger. He states things, and it was the same way that this guy's speaking. The months weren't numbered yet or named yet. So, and this wasn't really too long ago. Musashi wasn't that long ago. Anyway, this was a long time ago. Okay. I was among the captives by the river of Shabar, and the heavens was opened up, and I saw visions of God. In the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of the king Jehoiachin captivity, the word of the Lord came expressly unto Ezekiel the priest, the son of Buzi, in the land of the Chaldeans by the river Chabar. And the hand of the Lord was upon him. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding in itself, and a brightness was about it. In the midst thereof the color was of amber, and out the midst of the fire And there out of the midst there came likeness of 4 living creatures. In their appearance they had the likeness of a man. Everyone had 4 faces, everyone had 4 wings, and their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color burnished brass. And they had hands of a man under their wings on their 4 sides, and they 4 had their faces and their wings. And their wings were joined one to another, and they turned not when they went, and went every one straight forward. As for the likeness of their faces, the 4 had the face of a man, the face of a lion, the right side, and the 4 had the face of an ox on the left side. The 4 also had the face of an eagle, and thus were their faces, and their wings were stretched up toward 2 wings. Every one were joined one to another, and the 2 covered their bodies. And they went every one straight forward. Whether the spirit was to go, they went, and they turned not when they went. As for the likeness of a living creature, I mean, this thing sounds, I don't know, this sounds more like a, I don't know, I don't know what this is. Hold on. As for the likeness of the living creature, and it says here that it was a living creature. It wasn't, I don't know, but their appearance was like burning coals of fire, and their appearance of lamps went up and down among the living creatures. And the fire was bright, and out the fire went forth lightning, and the living creature ran and returned in the appearance of a flash of lightning. Look, that's like a UFO. It can go psh, 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 come back and forth. So, okay. They went up in the flash of lightning. Now as I beheld the living creature, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures, with his 4 faces. And the appearance of the wheels in their work was like that unto the color of a beryl. And the 4 had one likeness, and their appearance and their work were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. Like, listen, that's what I was looking for right there. But I'll come back to that. Wheel within the middle of a wheel. When they went upon their 4 sides, and they turned not when they went. As for their rings, so they were so high that they dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them 4. And the living creature went, and the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. Listen, that sounds a lot like CERN. And here's the thing. When it talks about the different creatures, if you look at the I Ching, it's got all these different creatures and elements like fire and water, birds and snakes and dragons and lions and deer and phoenix, unicorn. So it's got weird, like unicorn, that's a Bible. That basically, it doesn't really mean a horse with the horn. It means a female rhinoceros. You can look, it's in Jeremiah. When he says unicorn, and in the old terminology he used, it meant a single-horned female rhinoceros. So that's a lot more information people aren't privy to, and it's really simple. You know what I'm saying? In that case, it's a rhino. But when they say things like satyrs, those are actual creatures where like people weren't totally human. They were something else. So there's something to this. In the wheel within a wheel, the trigrams, when you add the 8 to the 8, it's a wheel within a wheel. The Mayan calendar, wheel within a wheel. There's some kind of, they're beyond they're astrological, but they're, you know, it's crazy how deep it is. It's deeper than just your exoteric meaning. You know what I'm saying? There's something way more deeper, and it's looking more and more and more sinister. The more I look into it, the more scary it's getting by the day. The more Time Machine, Terminator, Armageddon, it is really looking. I mean, it's creepy. I know we've been saying things like this for so long, but I mean, I don't know how far they can push the envelope until it falls off. I mean, it feels like we're floating over the edge. The envelope should be falling already, and we're still just here. What are they waiting for? Something to do with this? But anyway, let me see where we're at the Earth. Yeah, and here you go, and they're appearing with wheel within a wheel, man. I mean, that's, you know what I'm saying? It's deep. When those went and these went, And when those when those stood, these stood, and those were lifted up from the earth, and the wheel were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. This sounds like something's on the ground going like this, lifting something up in the sky. Wheel on the ground is lifting wheels up in the sky. It sounds like Doug Lacka type. Like the CERN machine is gonna make, you know, I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't know exactly how these things tie in together, but listen, it's worthy, it's noteworthy to look into it and make sure it's not connected. It's better to debunk this quickly. You know what I'm saying? And if not, let's figure out what it exactly means. I mean, listen, God willing, other people, you know, if this information gets out, you know what I'm saying? It's like, listen, as a team, we could figure it out. Me alone, I'm going to be wondering for a while until God reveals through Armageddon. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy out here. We are in times like in perilous times is what Paul said, and when he meant perilous times, it meant danger. Any way you turn, any way you go, it's gonna be dangerous. So you're gonna have some kind of, you're gonna have to, you know, it's gonna be chess not checkers. You're gonna have to, you know, do everything, do all the right things basically. But so, and their likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creature was like the color of a terrible crystal. What the heck does that mean? Terrible crystal. Sounds like Stargate. And stretched forth over their heads above. And the creatures of the firmament upon the heads of the living creature was the color of a terrible crystal, and stretched forth over their heads. And under the firmament their wings straight, the one towards the other. Everyone had two which covered the side. Everyone had two which covered that side on their bodies. I mean, this is this is crazy. You'd need some kind of Rosetta Stone type understanding to break this really down to what it really means. It's that cryptic. But now, with understanding the technologies they have, and now that the world information is coming to the internet, we all got access to ideas at least. And I think they're getting rid of certain, they don't want people to know all this stuff, so they're going to start slowly taking little pieces out, and eventually only the people from before the disaster are going to have the remembering of all this stuff, you know. But and when they went, I heard the noise of their wings like the noise of great waters, as the voice of the Almighty, the voice of speech, and the noise as a host. And when they stood, they let down their wings, and there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads, and they stood and let down their wings. And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne. Okay, the throne, listen, Isis means eyes on the throne. And listen, the time of Jacob's trouble from Daniel means a female replacement of God, basically. So, and look at all this feminist activity. That's the spirit of Jezebel's in the land. Heavy. But the likeness of a throne, the appearance of a sapphire stone, and upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness of appearance of the man above upon it. And I saw the color of amber, and the fire round about from within, and the appearance of his loins even downward, upward. From upward, and the appearance of even his loins downward. And I saw their appearance of fire, and it had brightness round about it, and the appearance of a bow was in the cloud in the day of rain. A rainbow. So this has got to do with the prism, or, you know what I'm saying, the prism effect, the light spectrum too. It's deep. Okay? The appearance of the bow in the rain of the day, so was the appearance of the brightness of the roundabout, was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. And when I saw it, I fell upon my face and heard a voice of the one that spake. Okay, man, I don't know. Maybe I am wrong, because that said basically that's a description of God. But Satan says he's going to be like the Most High. And I made a realization that the Watchers, the fallen angels, it seems like they're trapped under the earth or something. And it's like Satan. It says Satan's going to fall as lightning. So like these things are going to come up upon the earth when they open the abyss. And then that's going to bring something down. Satan's going to come as lightning down from heaven. And that's like Barack Obama's name is... Barack means lightning from the heavens. You know what I'm saying? Basically, Barack Obama means lightning fell from the heavens, which is a code name for Satan, the dragon, the serpent. You know, so craziness.